Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. The investigation into that fatal fire last night in rural Brandywine continues. 2 adults are dead and a child was hospitalized. Byron Scott has our story.
Well, this is where that fire broke out last night on Kenneth High Road in Brandywine. I'm going to hop out of the way here. You can see what is left of that house, which is not much at all. Investigators arrived here just a short while ago to continue their investigation. Now, firefighters were called to this house at 8:30 last night on the report of a house fire with people trapped inside. Investigators say the 2-story house was engulfed in flames when they arrived, and the roof began to collapse. Now, firefighters found 2 adults dead inside the house. A child was also found inside, but was alive and taken to a hospital. Again, 2 adults dead, 1 child found alive in the house. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. In Brandywine, Byron Scott, CTV News.
And the Prince George's Council session drew a standing room only crowd this morning. It was so crowded that some had to move to an overflow room. Many were there for Council Bills 1 and 91. These are labor-friendly measures. CB1 requires that public contractors and their subcontractors be certified. Bill 91 mandates that county projects over $10 million have project labor agreements.
We support CB1 because it is important to make sure that contractors who bid on county projects have the background, the skills, and the training needed to perform these work as required, and to ensure that they do not discriminate against women or women of color. We support CB 91 because project labor agreements are the best way to ensure local equity and hiring of women and women in color. They also advance goals in local hiring and local subcontracting, and help to overcome long-standing racism and sexism in this construction industry.
We are exposed to an environment of toxic chemicals, hazardous particulates in the air, falls from great heights, missteps on ladders, and injuries using heavy machinery that can lead to injuries, sometimes long-term illnesses, or unfortunately fatality. We deserve a good-paying job.
As of late this afternoon, the council had not taken action on the 2 measures. Well, just days after Prince George's County Council tables a bill aimed at raising the tipped minimum wage, there is an effort to pass similar legislation in Montgomery County. The first public hearing on a bill that would raise the tip wage was held today. The measure, introduced by Councilmember Will Jawanda, would boost the tipped minimum wage every year until it reaches $13 an hour. It would then rise with the state's minimum wage.
Excited to stand with you today and have introduced this bill along with my colleague, Councilmember Kristen Mink, with the support of our county executive, Mark Elrich, who's agreed to sign it, to finally phase out the sub-minimum wage and pay our tipped workers a fair and dignified wage. Every worker deserves the dignity of being paid a fair wage.
And currently, the tipped wage in Maryland is $3.63 an hour. Well, federal authorities continue to search for the young man wanted for a recent shooting incident at Morgan State University. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for details that lead to an arrest of Javon Williams. The 18-year-old has been charged with attempted first-degree murder for the shooting incident that wounded 5 people on October 3rd. Williams was already wanted in the district for a gun and drug conspiracy case back in June. And this just into CTV News. School officials say that the principal of Charles Flowers High School, Dr. Gorman Brown, has been placed on administrative leave for, quote, personnel reasons. In a letter that went home to parents today, the school district says that Dr. Deidre Small-Screws, who is the assistant principal, will serve as the, quote, administrator in charge until further notice. Brown has worked in the Prince George's school system for more than 2 decades. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Still to come, a local sorority is hosting a civics class to emphasize the importance of voting. We'll have that story and much more after the break. Stay with us.
I was proud to be a soldier.
I told the truth and got kicked out.
And so I thought to myself, I'm taking this rule down.
If you're an LGBTQ+ veteran, your memories are important too. Share your story with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where first-hand accounts from U.S. military veterans are preserved and made accessible for researchers and future generations. Visit loc.gov/vets to submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
Welcome back. Well, one of the largest penalties in an environmental criminal case is announced today during a joint press conference in South Baltimore. Attorney General Anthony Brown joined state and Baltimore City officials in Curtis Bay this afternoon. Brown says under previous ownership, medical waste at a special incinerator facility called Curtis Bay Energy was never properly treated and leaked while being transported to landfills. Investigators say they found a pattern by personnel of also illegally discharging untreated medical waste into streams. After a 3-year investigation, the previous owners have pleaded guilty to 40 criminal counts.
It is what the previous owner of Curtis Bay Energy didn't do when they received this special medical waste that was most egregious. They regularly failed to properly burn or incinerate or treat the medical waste. Instead, as you see in our evidence photos, they disposed of the medical waste as mounds of raw or uncooked medical waste.
And the corporation must pay a $1 million fine that will go directly to the Maryland Clean Water Fund. An additional $750,000 for a supplemental project will go to neighboring communities affected by the crimes. 2 employees were also charged with environmental crimes, one of whom has pleaded guilty. And in addition to sharp needles, medical waste contains blood by pathogens and biological waste that could infect other humans. Well, a Jewish lawmaker's Gaithersburg apartment is vandalized with anti-Semitic graffiti the 3rd time in a few months. Montgomery County Delegate Joe Vogel says swastikas were drawn in the lobby bathroom of the building. Vogel posted photos of the 4 swastikas on social media. It's unclear if he's the target of the messages. The State Highway Administration is cited for a serious violation following an investigation into worker deaths on I-695. Maryland's Highway Patrol has long blamed a speeding motorist for crashing through a work zone and causing the 6 workers' deaths. But an investigation by Maryland's Occupational Safety and Health Department says the SHA failed to post traffic control signs warning drivers about the work zone. The violation did not levy a fine against the agency, but did order it to correct the issue. A longtime Bowie resident and an active community leader is looking to oust a current city council member. Monica Roebuck is running for the District 2 Bowie City Council seat. If elected, she plans to focus on rising crime and taxes. Roebuck criticizes incumbent DeFore Wolfley for voting to cancel a new city ice arena. She says the city needs someone who is fiscally responsible.
I feel like I can bring my people skills. I've already established relationships with a lot of residents in the city of Bowie. I serve on my HOA, and I've also have relationships with the city council members. And so you need to work with people in order to get things done. Development is also something that people are concerned with, because with more development comes traffic, can come the increase of crime. And so those are things that I want to address.
And Roebuck will face off against 2 other candidates. The City of Bowie election is scheduled for November 7th. Coming up here after the break, Simon Buggs with the Tuesday Sports Page Report. Stay with us.
Hey everybody, and coming up on your Tuesday Sports Page, some members from the UMD women's basketball team talk about what they hope to accomplish this coming year. Stay tuned.
Think buying fake products is harmless? Think again. Counterfeits are made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. Each year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products are sold in the U.S. I smell big crime. Think about it. If you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart. Buy smart. Go for real.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, a local chapter of the historically black sorority plans to emphasize the importance of voting through an upcoming free class. The Psi Epsilon Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority will host a Civics 101 course this Saturday, October 21st. The free event will be held at Northview Elementary School in Bowie. Organizers say they will discuss the democratic process, how to register to vote, the different branches of government, and much more.
We're trying to get those educated as much as we can on this process so that you can be better educated as you go to the polls and polls and know about why it's important to start at the local level for voting and also at the state level and not just wait until we have a presidential election to come out to the polls.
And the event will begin at 11 a.m. To register, you can visit the website on your screen. Well, if you're looking for a night out that will leave you entertained and empowered, then come check out POTUS at Arena Stage. This hilarious show takes a satirical look at the inner workings of the White House. It follows the 7 women keeping the president afloat, his chief of staff, press secretary, first lady, and more.
Play Jean, the press secretary. And what is Jean like? I love Jean. Jean is all of the things I said before. She's smart, she's ambitious, she's quirky. I love the quirkiness of Jean. She is fiercely loyal. She has a very polished exterior, but a very warm, compassionate heart, I would say. Expect a lot of White House shenanigans, a lot of buffoonery, a lot of physical comedy. There's moments of drama. They can expect to laugh. Maybe they will cry. Maybe they will be shocked. Maybe they will be uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable in all the best ways.
And POTUS runs now through November 12th at the Arena Stage. For more information, visit arenastage.org/POTUS.
Okay, everybody, it's time for your Tuesday sports page. The UMD women's basketball team is looking to get back to the postseason and make an even deeper run this coming year. Last year, the Lady Terps fell to South Carolina in the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament. Terps guard Faith Masonius talked about her expectations of getting back to the playoffs as well as the work she's put in during the offseason.
I'm the only person left on the team who's won a Big Ten championship, so knowing that expectation and how much it takes, I really want our team to experience that. I mean, going to the Elite 8 last year, that was my first one. So it's really exciting, and it just takes us another level. So being able to, get that expectation up there, because that's what we're going to need in March to make a deep run. My main focus this past season, the summer, was shooting. For me, last year, coming back from injury, I didn't have the lift that I wanted, and my legs get so tired. And I mean, I'm still going to struggle with that this year, because who doesn't when you're running a full game? But just getting that lift on my shot and focusing on shooting up and not out.
And freshman guard Riley Nelson is looking forward to helping her team get back to the postseason.
Maryland's, their legacy, they've always been Big Ten championship contenders, and go deep into the NCAA tournament. So just being that opportunity, just to be there with my team as big names for those contenders is, it's exciting to me.
Moving on to more women's basketball news, Lady Terps guard Cheyenne Sellers was named to the Lieberman Award watch list. This award is given to the nation's top point guard in women's basketball. Sellers had a good season last year as she was named to the All-Big Ten first team and the All-Big Ten defensive team. She is also Maryland's leading returning scorer, averaging 14 points per game last year. And that is your Tuesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. And now let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, with a low of 45. Wednesday, partly sunny. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s. Thursday, sunny with a high of 71. And Friday, mostly cloudy, a chance of showers, and a high of 70. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a great night.